Holy
No!
shit!
Oh, there he
Dog?
is.
What up, dog?
Wow.
Are you fucking kidding me?
How you doing, Jesse?
Really good.
What's up,
Really
blood?
good. How y'all doing? Hi, Mark. Hi.
Hey, bud.
Hi, everyone. Oh,
Jesse,
yeah.
you have such a radiophonic voice. Like I've seen you in interviews.
It's the AirPods, isn't it? I when I hear myself, I always think that I sound as nasal. Like my nose has been broken a whole mess of times,
Oh,
and I can't really breathe out of the one side of it, and that's all I hear when I hear myself talk. I'm just like,
you sound fucking good, man. You sound like this.
well, all right.
That's because you play.
I miss my calling.
Jesse, before we start, I just got to tell you, man, and like honestly speaking, in my entire life, so when I started playing James Jamerson, I only got a few influences because there's so many great bass players, but you have to pick the ones that actually affected you, right? We got James Jamerson, we got Chris Squire, there was Geddy Lee, and then there's only one other person that I could say actually affected me in my life, and that is fucking you. You are, in my opinion, one of just the most original, honest, playing from within kind of dude that I have ever seen or heard in my life. You are your own person, your own man, your own creator, your own everything. And thank you not only so much for being here, but for being fucking alive to let people hear what you have done and what you actually do for the bass world, not just musically, but spiritually, because there is a deeper thing happening that's coming out of you when you're playing. You are
You're
an
gonna
antenna, man.
you're gonna make me emotional. That's somebody told me, I can't remember if it was my dad or somebody else, but they said that the most important thing you can do in music is sound like yourself, and that sounds like something you'd tell a kindergarten kid, but in terms of how simple it is. But I understand it as you just want people to be able to hear something and be like, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
That's that, and like you can hear a few seconds of Tommy Iommi playing, and that's him, even though there's been a million people that have started playing guitar because they're trying to sound like that. You can still be like, oh, that's that guy, there's drummers like that. I think Chris Squire he was a huge influence on me, just because he played all over the place, and I felt like he was kind of singing a melody with his fingers.
Yep.
Which is like an old guitar player solo thing, where when they would you listen to this old like 60s band guitar solos, and they're putting in like the vocal lines from Charlie Brown by the Coasters and shit like that. You know what I mean? So he was singing with it, and also just the sound.
The
and
separation, right? The separation. For me, when I first heard him, it was like, what the fuck is happening here? He's not hanging out on the low end. He's ripping out on the bottom end, and he's coming back to the fucking low end, and it sounds like a pug.
While he's singing, too.
While singing, injected with steroids, fucking go blah, 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 blah.
The craziest thing was that we were playing Glastonbury, and even when you get there, because it's a farm, like you get there and then your bus drives around for a while to like navigate through to wherever you're going. Mm-hmm. And while we were driving to the stage, we were listening to Close to the Edge on the bus, and I'm standing there playing air bass along with Close to the Edge, and then I found out that he just died.
Oh no.
Oh man.
And I was like, should I be doing this? am I
gonna live through grabbed you, dude.
I was just like, oh yeah.
Damn.
He was right there with you, man. He was right there with you.
It was
how was that show that night? How did you end up playing? Did you channel Chris Squire that night?
I mean, he's the Glastonbury's so weird. English festivals are weird in general, right? Like there was that festival, the campground is within the stages, so it's like there's a tent, there's people shitting everywhere, and I don't know. It's just, but we played who is it? I can't remember who played before us. Oh, I was so excited, and then Pulp played afterwards, or not Pulp, Suede. played
Okay.
after, and it was just like, I don't know. And Kanye was playing on the main stage, and that everyone wanted to run over for that. But the show was cool. It was easy enough. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
There've been a lot of shows. They sort of blend in together, and the things that pop out to me aren't the good things. It's like, oh, that's that time I fell and I broke a key in the keyboard as I was going down, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I remember that, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. There's some moments like over the years, but it's hard. It's become one big show in my head.
Yeah.
So tell me, like today's show, like a little later, we're going to talk about some stuff about your preferential stuff when it comes to bass. But today's show is about people who hit a certain age bracket and they're saying, nah, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm too old, right? So, I mean, do you think that a 55-year-old beginner has any advantages over a 15-year-old beginner, for instance?
Well, think about what you listened to when you were 15. Like
Yeah.
how you were kind of and especially at our age, like I'll be 50 in a couple months. We were at the mercy of the people around us to find music, really.
Yeah.
Right? Like you had the radio or Much Music, MTV, or you had someone that was cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was fortunate that I had some people who were cool, who had older brothers who were cooler than them. And they were like, oh, you should check this out. Like the pipeline of interesting stuff that came to me was like, I never would have heard Nation of Ulysses and Fugazi and stuff like that if it hadn't been, hey, this.
Presented to you. Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff, that world of music was being brought to me by friends. And so not every 15-year-old has that. And I think like it's hard. Well, like I have 4 kids and my 2 oldest both play, but it's so interesting watching what it is they choose to figure out how to play. You know what I mean? Because I remember what I was just trying to play Led Zeppelin songs on guitar. And I wanted to play Jimi Hendrix songs. I aimed high, but it's just like this is like the Monet version of the photograph of Jimi Hendrix. I'm trying my best, but like when you're old, the only thing that's maybe going to be better, I think, is that initial physical pain. Because we all remember the physical pain, like when the back of your forearm is killing, and you're like,
Yes.
this really hurts. How? Like I don't know if it's going to show in the camera. My fingers aren't straight anymore. Like they go like, they do a thing. That's it. I'm like, okay, I'm just warped. That's
Like
my body has.
My fucking thumb's going in the other fucking direction. It's looking like a big fucking toe that got stepped on.
I was rubbing my wife's hands a while ago, and I went to pull her fingers back. I'm like, they don't go back. Your fingers don't. They don't. You can't, like, they don't just. Your hands aren't all bendy and hyper flexible for some reason. I don't know. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Your fingers also aren't a corkscrew either.
Yeah.
So do you believe that passion is like more important than talent?
It must be, because you got to have a reason to keep going.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who aren't talented who are quite famous for the thing that they do. Right?
Mhm.
Like it's like the absurdity of saying that Miss Universe is the most beautiful woman in the whole world.
Mhm.
No, she's just the one that won the competition.
Yeah.
There's someone else. There's someone else that doesn't even know it's happening. But so I don't know that, like, the passion is super important, because there has to be some reason to keep doing it.
Keep you going.
And that's going to change.
I think turn into the notes, right? The passion could turn into your style. Those are the roads, the side roads that take you. I'm sure that you said you love guitar, and you start on guitar and shit. And I listened to you play as a bass player, but that's got guitar-esque kind of shit. But you still sound like a total bass player. You sound like a bass player and a guitar player at the same time on 4 fucking strings. And now that's.
Well, was it? I can't remember. Somebody told me I was saying the quote, and then they reminded me who it was. Is that Glenn Branca? Glenn Branca? Am I saying his name right? That weird New York art guitar player. He said that once the music leaves your head, that compromise has already started.
Oh.
Because because you have the idea, and then you're immediately hitting the wall of your own physical body. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
enough.
how do I get there? And I feel like that's been the thing that's always frustrated me, and I'm always trying to make up stuff that I can't play, because I'm
Okay.
like, most of the songs on our records, the way they're played on the record is me struggling and cursing my ass off, like trying so hard to play those parts, and then now I
Oh,
play them effortlessly because I've done it a million times.
Yeah.
But I like always trying to do something a little bit more than
then
I
you
can
are
do
at the
now.
moment, right? So,
You know,
are you telling me? Have you ever tried to say? I like to tell people, try and pretend it's not you playing, that you're someone else, and that way it lets you jump off the trampoline and try and do something that you wouldn't normally do. You know what I
that's
mean?
Well,
what, you know.
do you
So
mean when you're getting started, like when you're first getting started, or just in general?
In general, whether when you're getting started and when you're actually started and you're looking for something like what he just said, for instance,
A new path, yeah.
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 and sometimes when people tell me that they feel like they've hit a creative brick wall or whatever, I say, we'll be talking about something else, and I'm like, why don't you just try to make a song that's like that, that's totally different from what you're doing?
Mhm.
Just try to do it. Like it's sort of like I guess for session guys or session players, this is a normal thing, but like that moving out of your own expression. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Well, like, so you're not hindered by, this has to be me. I want it to be me. And then you can get away from that for a minute. And then you're just sort of applying all the things that you know, but without trying to express yourself. And
Mhm.
in doing that, you kind of get reminded of a bunch of things you do know. At
Yeah.
least that's been for me. I don't have to do it so much now. My big issue is that it's like, shit, I have all these records of me, and there's a thing that exists, and like, our band broke up for 5 years and the band still existed for fans. It's
Mhm.
like, well, shit, I made this thing that's more than me, and now I'm kind of like in service to that,
Yeah.
to be as sort of out of respect for the people that have been there the whole time. I'm kind of just doing it for them, and also trying to continually make up stuff that I can't play yet. So that because otherwise I won't stay engaged. You know.
Yeah.
So what would surprise people most about learning music later in life? Is it what you're saying right now? Because you're an experienced person, you've been doing this, and might as well, it's almost like kind of the same, but not as a person that would be starting at a later date. Let's say someone was just starting at 50 and you're going to be 50, but for you to go any further would be exactly like starting again, right? In order for
Pretty
you to keep
much.
on finding that passion, right?
Well, I think the best trait is if someone who is always a little bit unsatisfied. Because
Oh,
you need to be always like, if you do something and you're like, that's it, I did it. It's going to be hard to keep going. It's better to always be like, that could be a bit better, so that you're always trying to be a bit better. I think the biggest part about the biggest thing that would make starting older maybe better is that the the library of stuff that you've been exposed to by that point in your life is so
Bingo.
broad,
Yeah.
and so you're not going to be like, one of my kids, just she loves the Misfits and My Chemical Romance and Ink and Dagger and Dillinger Escape Plan or whatever, but she likes all the stuff.
yeah.
But like when she's playing guitar, the first time she started playing Teenagers from Mars by the Misfits, I'm like, awesome. It's cool. And it's like, it works with a lot of the other stuff that she likes. But um her window of things that she's aiming at is pretty, like, it's in this zone. She's not listening to Joe Pass. She's not
Right.
listening to, you know what I mean? Like, uh she's not going to maybe let certain things happen. Like, maybe something happens and she thinks it's wrong, or like, oh, what's this weird chord? But no, that's actually a minor seventh, and it's cool, and it never exists in the music you're listening to. But it's still awesome. And yeah, as someone you've lived for long enough and you've heard enough stuff, you're going to have less of those, like, roadblocks
Right.
in what is potential, because you've heard so much stuff.
Wow. I saw this interview with Mike Shinoda from Lincoln Park, and he was saying that his young daughter at one point was trying to learn something for school, and she was playing guitar, and father walked in and said, "Hey, I think you're playing the wrong chords. Maybe you should play it like this." And then the kid like just brushed them off, right? And then the mother walks in and says, you should really listen to your father because he knows what he's talking about. And then she goes, what does he know about music anyways? And then she went and showed him some videos of Lincoln Park in front of fucking millions of people, and she goes, "Who's that guy?" Right? So I guess my question is, you see where I'm going. At what point did your kids, like when they were really young and you're doing all that shit and stuff? At what point did you ever get any of that shit? Or
I got a great story for you about this from today. So two of my kids are very young.
Okay.
And we all went down to this farmer's market about 20 minutes away, and we're driving back to my farm, and my kids want to listen to Death from Above 1979, which is really funny because my son will be like, "Oh, dad's song, play dad's song." But he thinks it's just both of them think it's just this song that we have called Cheap Talk. That's how they ask for that song. So when I put this song on, and I'm listening to it, I'm always just thinking like, oh, there's too much mud in the bass. Oh, we could have done this or that. Or I remember making it. Then the song ends, and then the next song on that record is called Frankenstein. It comes on, and they both start freaking out. They're like, "No, Dad's song!" And my wife's like, "No, this is still Dad." They're like, "No, Death from Above, 1979." And she's like, this is Death from Above, 1979. And they're so pissed. They're so like screaming mad to the point where like, that's it. No more music. No more music. You don't get it anymore.
You get one song, Dad. You can only have one song.
They think I have one song. That's the band name is the name of the song. That's what they want. They don't want to hear any other song. I'm like, I just want to listen. No, yeah, that happened today.
What about the older? Now, what about the older ones? Like, like
my eldest came to. We were playing this amphitheater last month, opening for Billy Talent. It's a big show. There's like 15,000 people there, and they have catering and whatever. So she comes backstage. She's stoked. She loves it, and she's like, "Oh, I saw there was catering, and I ate it," because she's moved out and has to pay bills and stuff now, and now appreciates free catering. It. And then I'm hanging out with the bass player from Billy Talent. I introduced him to my daughter, and she's like, "Oh, the catering was so good," and him and I both realized, "Oh, we just ate there. We didn't use our meal tickets." So we both give her the meal tickets. She just runs straight back to the catering, comes back. She's like, "Dad, they got a guy down there spinning actual pizzas. Like they're making pizzas." And then comes back again, more pizza. I'm like, "So you ate 4 times in the end," and then just went straight into the mosh pit for the first time with 15,000 people, not knowing that I had other family members like just watching just from behind her to make sure everything was cool. But I think she gets it now.
I mean, you're the cheese man. You just like threw her to the wolves, and like she's like, "Wait, this has been your life, my whole life. This has been your life. What the fuck, Dad?
You've been eating catering?
I could have had pizza 200 days out of the year."
But you just hang out and drink beer and make jokes with your friends, and then eat food and hug people, and then play music for an hour. That's your day. Like,
oh my God. This is just too much, man.
That's awesome.
So just one more question about the original topic. So when you're like 80 years old, okay, and you're looking back at your life, what do you hope music gave you that had nothing to do with records, tours, money, or success?
Well, when I started making music, my inspiration and the thing that I was always doing, and I'm saying this because maybe someone watching this is doing this for the same reason. I was just making music to listen to in my own car because I'd spent so much time driving all over the place, and I'd just be making things that I wanted to hear and just drive around listening to my own songs. And in fact, how like I made the first 3 Death from Above songs by myself on September 11th, 2001 for Something to Do.
Oh.
And then I was playing them in the car with Sebastian. He was like, man, these songs are really good. We should do something with them. Like that was the impetus of it. Like just me making stuff to listen to in my car. Cause it was just like, I just wanted it to exist. I need to do it, you know? I never took music in school. I was never in theater. The one time I had to make a speech, I thought my knees were gonna like actually turn to dust, not jello, like just dust. I thought that was it. I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm gonna be a 16-year-old with a heart attack. It's terrified. I had no interest in being in front of people. I just wanted to make music. Like I started playing drums when I was 3 fucking years old. Like I've been doing this for so long. I don't remember the beginning of a lot of things, you know? And it's just always just been enjoyment for me. And, you know, my dad was a musician. And one of the things he said to me was like, well, son, just make sure that the music business doesn't ruin the outlet for you.
Yeah.
And that has been a defining thing for me, but also I didn't realize how much of a challenge it would be, you know, because like you start off, you're playing because you enjoy it. You're doing things. You're like, oh man, my hand is doing this. Like my fingers are moving faster than my brain can tell them to do it. Like this is actually working. Oh, I thought of a note and my hand landed on it. Like this, I know this thing is like I can actually get my ideas out on this thing. Like that's that should be enough in a sense. Like those things are mountains that most people never climb, you know? But then you get all these pressures. Oh, you got to do this for this time, and we need 2 more songs. Well, what if I don't have any right now? You know what I mean? Like, you got to make 2 more songs. You don't have enough songs. Like all these sort of outside things start being part of that process that weren't there before. And so if I can, to answer your question, if I can be an old man and still enjoy noodling, which I do all the time on everything in my house. I've been playing a lot of ukulele recently, and I really enjoy it. It's such a challenge. Like so tiny.
You gotta plug that ukulele into your fucking double stack and see what happens.
Like but if there's a point where I'm not doing that anymore, or even like today, I was just like playing. I had some new synthesizer thing, and I was just playing with it for like an hour and a half. Time just vanishes. If I get to a point where that's not something that I want to do anymore, then I will have failed. You know, then if it's like I never want it to be like the job that I leave at the end of the day, you know?
Dude, look what I did last night, okay? You see this fucking hunk of junk? Okay, so I basically stuck 2 fucking EMGs in it, tuned it B, F sharp, B, and E, okay, and it's like a fucking 30-inch fucking insane super distorto fucking weighs nothing kind of shit. And I thought of you, but yeah, tinkering is where it's at.
Yeah,
this is like a super ukulele right here. This is like on steroids. You need to put some EMGs in your fucking ukulele. And fucking drop some shit.
I think that's the first time anyone said that in the history of the world.
Yeah.
You need to put not one EMG, but you need to put some EMGs in your ukulele.
There's electric kazoos out there. You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta want to party.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Okay, one more thing here. I want to give you some rapid fire things, just super rapid fire.
Sure.
Favorite bass riff that ever written?
By me or by anybody?
You and anybody.
It's the whole of Heart of the Sunrise.
Oh man.
Probably. Yeah. Just because there's so much. It's that. Like you could probably isolate it and just listen to the bass and the drums, and it would still be a big song.
Yeah,
it'd be like that because there's everything is there. All the slides, all the trills, all that. It's beautiful.
What about your favorite song from the stuff you've written?
So we have new music coming, and there's a part to point back to what I was saying earlier. There's this part in one of the songs actually where I did a thing where I managed to get 5 notes in a hammer to bend to back out of the bend, and it's just boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at some point, I was playing it way faster than intended, just as a practice, and I'm like, well, I can't believe I can do this. And I actually, when we went to record it, I was like, look, man, this has to be. I have to hear this shit that I made up because I worked so hard to create this. So I love the ending section of The Physical World, that song, because it was just like sitting in my head for a long time. There's like a lot of the riffs have for me, they're married to the creation of them. So it's like I remember what I was doing and whatever else. I don't know. I hope that there's enough variation in what all the things that I've done, but I also really love, there's a song called Always On that I love. I love that riff. I can't believe it's easy for me to play. And that's of all the, because like kids who play bass, men who play bass will message me and be like, hey, how do you play this? And they'll send me a video of them, and I will, every time someone asks me to do that, I will go get a bass, stick the phone between my knees and play it slowly. Like, here you go. That's how I do it. Just because I would love for someone to do that for me when I was younger, but anyhow. But yeah,
that's amazing. What's the most underrated bassist?
Oh, wow.
Mark Najjar?
Don't do that. I don't want to like say underrated, and then all of a sudden that person's like, "Hey, man."
He's a very highly rated microphone fart guy. Fart effects. That was
professional.
I would say there's underrated might not be my response, but not talked about enough would be Jean-Jacques Brunel from the Stranglers.
Ooh.
Oh, he's got a very particular sound, that guy, actually. I'm very surprised that, actually, now that I think about it, he cuts it through the mix with way more
Big time
people in the band, kind of like you, Jesse, in a sense, you know what I mean? And I just kind of discovered him recently-ish. I've always known about him, but I never realized how much the bass poked through the mix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think, well, I don't think he's like a technical guy, but the bass player from the Strokes carries those songs where like the guitars are just and the entire progression is the bass.
Yeah.
Like the bass is just moving around in the background. Like the songs without the bass would just be singing over held guitar notes, and it's cool. Like that is a cool thing to do. But the stuff that he writes in that, I think I've always been really impressed by that.
Wow.
The bass will move one note and it pulls the whole feeling somewhere else.
Yeah.
What about a bass player that everybody should study?
That's a good one.
Obviously, Jamerson.
Yeah. Everyone should watch Victor Wooten play and then know that anything is possible.
Yes.
And go give up.
But it's like, I think to know that there's the possibilities are endless is helpful, because like, did I do this wrong? Go listen to Mono Neon. Like, is there a wrong note? Maybe it's just leading you to something that's going to be way cooler. And maybe we could all play like Mono Neon, but we're scared. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just not having that switch that says, I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's really tough. I think, like Larry Graham was a huge influence on me when I was younger, but I was like about the sound as much as the playing, just because those Sly Stone records, like every time the bass comes in, it's like, it's heavy.
Is that the reason why is that what got you into playing the acoustic amps? Because I know that's what he was playing like way back then.
Partially that, and partially because Albert King used to play with acoustic amps, oddly. And apparently he played with every knob at 10, and then he just used the volume on his guitar to control the sound. Just as an easier way of doing it. Just crank everything and then it's
Mm.
had, the volume on the flying V
fan of that.
And playing with 15s with a guitar. But no, the acoustic, if we're talking about gear, like everything that I had was the cheapest possible shit. Right? Like everything that I had was the cheapest shit. Like the big PV head that people like, kids. I keep calling them kids. Maybe I'm old enough to call everyone a kid. People like try to clone that circuit and whatever, and now PV reissued the amp and all this stuff. It's like, I got that amp because it was $125, and it was the bass amp that I could afford because I had just traded in some little Boss sampler thing that I never used. I'm like, hey, what can I get for this? So I'll give you $125. I'm like, no, this thing says it's like 600 watts. Is it? Nah, it can't be. I plug it in. I play one note. Everything in the store shakes. The store owner looks like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take it. For sure, I'm going to take this.
You sure you want that?
Yeah, like, whoa. I don't know what I'm going to plug it into, but I'm taking this.
What's funny is that like
everything.
that's how a lot of gear becomes like very collectible, is because some dude like you will say like, I need an amp, I need something, and it just becomes part of their sound. You find its quirks and everything. I mean, like, that's why like Les Paul bursts are like the cost of a fucking house,
Yeah.
A nice
large house.
And like, so I would say between you and Josh Homme is probably the reason why PV is having their day in the sun again.
Fucking the decade app and fucking Josh, that fucking took that through the fucking roof on Reverb.
Oh yeah, and then although now we're older and we have money and we're just like, oh, I want to recreate that sound, and then like, oh shit, there's not many of them out there, so like you're willing to pay for it because that's what has inspired you.
Isn't that what happens?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go ahead.
The acoustic, I think that acoustic head was $200.
Oh,
and it was just like another kind of trade thing. How I ended up with the A10 cabs was, I think one of them was $60 and the other one was $100 or something. And like this weird music store that was not really a pawn shop, but they were trying to be a rehearsal space, and it was just like this weird, in a music store in a place where there isn't a place to play anywhere nearby. There's no. I was surprised there's any musicians. It was called Encore Music Exchange, and I would just go in. I one time found a Roland JX3P in the dumpster at this place.
Oh, jeez!
Is that what you have now? Is that the one you're playing?
No, because I looked at it and I'm like, I don't know where to begin. There's so much. Like, gear used to be cheap.
Yeah,
gear used to be cheap. I remember being in a shop near my parents' house, and they had a Moog Poly Moog with the foot pedals and everything, and it looked great, and it was $200. Wow. And I was like, $200? I don't have 200 cents. Like, I can't, so many. I remember seeing a 71 Mustang with the maple neck. It was all black, but it had a maple neck, and it was the same thing. It was like $200. I'm like, I can't buy this.
Doug Pinnick was telling us that in those days he was buying a fucking P bass for fucking $300, like $250.
Yeah.
There was that time where gear was so cheap, man, and now it's also because the internet has destroyed the deal. Like, because everybody knows how much. So you're in Canada, you used to be able to go to a pawn shop and buy like a Bryston power amp for $50 because someone's like, who's going to buy this amp? It says it's an amplifier. There's an on switch. There's no volume. There's no nothing. It's a, many thousands of dollars studio amp, but they were like $50 at every pawn shop in Toronto because they didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
And now those deals are all
gone.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a funny story really quickly, just to derail about a pawn shop. So while working at Chicago Music Exchange, there was I'll just tell the story. So I was sitting downstairs in the lower level in the bass shop, and like right across from me is the repair shop, and I see this guy walking downstairs with no, guitar, no case. Obviously, he's like walking to the repair shop because they would check the cases upstairs. And I see it, and it's this Pelham blue Les Paul with a like black swirl. I'm like, oh, it's a Zach Wild guitar. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. Google search, like 2 or 3 months prior, Zach Wilde was here with like the Jimi Hendrix Experience, and the bus was, you know, like somebody went on their bus and stole some shit and stole essentially that guitar. And I saw a picture of it, and I'm like, the guy's like, you know, talking to the repair guy and everything. I'm like on the phone with the manager upstairs, like, yo, George, like, we got Zach Wilde's, we got to have his manager's number. Yeah, we got to have his manager. What's going on? And I tell him the story, and he's just like, I'm on it right now. Can you stall the guy? Can we get the serial number? You know, this and this. And the guy comes in, and I guess he was working for a pawn shop that was downtown. And like, you know, like I could see from like, you know, 20 feet away that instead of strap pins, like strap buttons, there were those like fisheye hooks. And I'm like, that's like Zach's thing. And so the guy was telling the repair shop dudes, like, yeah, you know, I work for a pawn shop downtown. We want to sell this, but we want to kind of like fix it up and clean it up and everything, and maybe like get a rough idea of what it's worth. You know, like, you know, this is your expertise, this and this. And so like, then I see my other coworker come downstairs because he now knows, and he like goes to like the repair shop counter computer, and he's just sort of like casually like looking up the article, like where it was. We get on the phone, we confirm the serial number, like the manager's just like, yep, we're telling the detective's on his way. And then we have to break the news to this dude, like, hey, by the way, and we show him the article, and the guy just goes pale white. And we're like, we understand. We understand. But this is Zach Wilde's. Well, 2 minutes later, I get a phone call from the shop owner, and he's just like, "You gotta let us take it back. You know, we're actually in the middle of filming a pilot episode for a reality TV show. Like, we would love to be able to like make this a first story." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, like I'm out of this. I can't make those promises, you know." And then like the cops show up and everything, and Zach got his guitar back. And then like within seconds, that pawn shop was tweeting like, "We found your guitar, Zach." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You lying ass.
Found.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you a fucking story that's going to go with that one. When I was living in Toronto, my partner and I, we got together and we made a really interesting guitar. It was the first guitar that had two necks on one neck, and you were able to pull it out of the fucking body and switch the necks, right? You could play both the necks at the same time, reverse it, play a slide standing up, the whole ball of wax. Cost us like $200,000 to come up with that prototype by the time we were done with all the shit and said, me like a fucking idiot. It's in the back of my fucking car. I go back, boom, somebody fucking steals it, okay? Jeez. I'm saying to myself, oh my God, my fucking partner's gonna kill me. So I'm thinking, what can I do? I go to the Much Music box, you know, where you can go and leave the movie, the video with your thing there.
Speaker's Corner.
The Speaker's Corner. I walk in there, I had two of them, right? So I bring the other one in. I go, okay, guys, you see this? I go, this is fucked up. I had another one. Someone just stole it. And I said this because Eddie Van Halen was going to play in Toronto in the following week. And I said, we're going to give this thing to Eddie Van Halen. Please, you have to help me find it, right? Then all the fucking radio stations interviewed me. I'm on fucking line. There was no real thing like that. So they do that. Eddie goes by. I didn't get it back. But a month later, I get a phone call. Some pawn shop thing, like you just said, calls me up. He says, some guy just brought the guitar in. He's trying to pawn it, right? Because it's a really one-off guitar. So I shoot over there. And the cop, the detective, he's waiting. He says, okay, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to grab the guy right now. And then the cop, he was like a fucking gung-ho cop. I said, hey, man, can I film you as you're doing this shit?
Jesus.
And he said, just keep it incognito. You know what I mean? So I'm going behind him and shit. I'm fucking filming this shit. Fucking grabs the guy, fucking busts him, take the guitar to the shop, to the cop shop, and then I'm taking pictures with the cops, like holding up the guitars and stuff. And it was like, you got me. I got pictures of me following the cops to the cop shop. The guy being pulled out of the car with the fucking handcuffs. Oh, man.
I mean, Jesse, over the years, I'm sure you've had some things that were stolen from you. Like, what's something that like you haven't, like, what's something that you had stolen or lost that you're never going to get back, or, you know, you'd like to get back? Let's put an APB out.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm surrounded by wood, so I've got lots of stuff to knock on. I haven't really had gear go missing. I've had pedals vanish, where I was ask people like, "Hey, that I had that pedal was here. It was in sound check, and now and everyone thought it was cool, and now it's no longer part of my life." And every
Mm.
once in a while, and I'll be asking for like years later, like, "So did anyone ever find whatever happened to that?" And one of in particular, is a pedal that Oliver from Death by Audio had given me, and he's like, "How is it?" I'm like, "Well,
It was great.
it fucking grew legs somewhere in the States and walked away."
Damn.
But I don't know, I've been pretty fortunate. There was this one time I had some shirt on and like just a beater underneath. I'd taken the shirt off, and then the show's over, and then the shirt is gone, and it's but it happened.
DNA.
But I was in Alberta, and it was wintertime, so it's -30 outside,
Oh,
and I'm like, and I sweat for a living, right? Like I'm like, okay, so just wet body in the coat, hoping for the best. I'm like, I need to be back inside very quickly. I don't know what someone did with my shirt. I liked thinking that it continued to have a life as a shirt and wasn't just like pinned to
yeah.
some weirdo's wall kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, somebody's walking by and they're like, "Oh man, I really could use a shirt. Oh my god, a shirt, perfect."
They got his
That would be
DNA
fine.
now. You know what I mean? It's DNA. DNA. Hey, studio or stage?
the stages where I think you play better. I think across the board throughout my life, I've played better on stage than in the studio. Because in the studio, you've got too many. It's like the difference between someone who's like a TV actor who can do 600 takes and someone like, I don't know, like a Michael Caine or Denzel Washington, someone who grew up on the theater stage and they can just do it, right? Like they can,
Right.
like they know what they're doing. I feel like, I was actually talking to the producer of our next record 2 days ago about this, about how back in the day people just knew how to play, and then they came in to record, and you hear all these stories about, oh yeah, Black Sabbath made that record in 2 days, so and so made this record in 3 days. It's like, yeah, well, because they knew their songs and they'd been playing them because they'd been playing them on stage. That's like, as we know, the Beatles famously did in Hamburg or whatever. Like, you know how to play, you got it down. And so I don't know. For me, this stage is it also it's at volume. I get to feel it. I can't really.
So
You
you
don't.
need to make sure that there's always a studio on stage ready to record your shit. Then you got Beth of both
There
worlds.
you go.
We actually, this might sound crazy, but for every show for the last like 5 years, we have the full multi-track recording of every single show.
Very important.
Every single show we've played, we have the full multi-track of it, and every day on the road, our front of house guy will use yesterday's recording as a sound check before we come out and actually sound check. So you can be like, well, this is how it sounded yesterday. Let's see how yesterday sounds in this room. And just pipe it right back in and see how it is. See, it lets you really know how different the room is from the room before. But yeah, we have all of it. All of it. We could make the most repetitive live record ever. Just like, and here it is in Chicago. Here it is in Omaha, Nebraska. Here it is in wherever. Like, just yeah.
Well, it's going to be like a Kiss Alive record, the way they slap that from all the different cities and shit they plug in. You can actually play put together the wildest thing.
Yeah.
One piece of gear that you'd rescue from a burning fucking building, bro.
It would as maybe as cliche as this, it would be my Dan Armstrong bass. I have three of them. I've had 5 of them. I got lots of guitars that are special to me. I got lots of other synths and whatever things that are special to me. But of the 5 of those basses that I've had, what the one called number 1 is the number 1. And It's it's fed my family for too long for me to just leave it and be like, all right, well, you had a good run since 1969, time to melt. Like, yeah, I would have to. I would take that thing.
Yeah, because when
Everything.
you were playing a Rickenbacker and a grabber in the beginning, right? For a while, and then you winded up. So talk to us about that switch over. Like, when did that happen?
Here's some fun trivia. First record, the orange record, the like EP, I didn't own a bass. Someone had left a jazz bass at our house. So when I first started writing the songs, I just used that jazz bass because it was in the house.
Okay.
I didn't own one. Then we made the record. I recorded the record with that jazz bass. Then we're gonna play shows. I'm like, well, shit, I need a bass, and I had always liked how the grabber looked. I had never held one, but I just thought every time I saw a picture of it, I thought it was cool as shit. And I liked the idea that you could move the pickup. Not that I ever did, but I liked the idea that you could. And then we were playing in Ottawa, and there was some music store. It wasn't Songbird. It was some like whatever other music store that had one for $245. And I drove there. I think it was on the way to Montreal to play a show, and I bought it on the way to the show. And that thing is actually in my basement right now. And at one point I hadn't pulled it out of its case for 10 years. I pulled it out and it was still perfectly in tune.
Wow.
Strings feel like absolute ass, but it was still in tune.
That's
Baseball
impressive.
bat, the pickup is like a microphone, right? Like you could just talk this loud, like at speaking volume into it. It's it's so loud, but yeah, it sounds great. And then so how I had bought I had bought a Dan. Well, so how I got the white Rick was I had bought a Dan Armstrong, and because I thought it was so cool, and so I buy this Dan Armstrong bass. Really, I didn't know what I was doing to myself, right? Because the 12th fret on that thing compared to where the 12th fret is on the grabber is like 9 inches apart, right? Like this, it's the 12th fret is out here, Anyway, I go to play a show with it, thinking this will be my backup bass. Did not rehearse with it in any way. I just tried it in the store. I'm like, this feels so awesome. It's so easy to play. And then I go to play, and I was trying to put strings on it because the strings that were on it were flat dead as anything. And when I was going to put the strings on it, one of the tuning heads just like crumbled, just fell apart. So I'm like, shit, okay, played that show at the grabber. Next day, took the Dan Armstrong back to the shop, and I was like, hey, do you guys have tuning pegs for this thing? And, smaller shop, he's like, well, just trade it with me. I'll fix it. He's like, I can give you that white Rickenbacker for a straight trade. And I tried it for 1 second, and I was like, okay. And then that was it. But I never liked it. Like I really liked the neck. It felt awesome, but I didn't like how it sounded in comparison to the grabber. Like it didn't have, the grabber was so massive sounding, right? Like that pickup was crazy. And then we were on the road. Another band that we were on the road with actually had a guitar tech because I didn't have one. And I said to him, hey, do you think you could just wire it up so it just goes bridge pickup, volume knob out? And he's like, you don't want the switcher? I'm like, I hadn't been using it. It was just like, it had been my backup bass. As soon as he did that, I tried it and I'm like, oh shit, this is way better than the grabber. Like this thing it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. So
this is the Rick you're talking about now?
Yeah. It's literally pickup, volume knob, output. No caps in there, no resistors, nothing. It's just straight out.
Wow.
And I just ran with it like that. I didn't know what the Rick sound was. I'm like, well, why has it got two? I was so ignorant, man. Like, and it's funny too, because now I had my own model Rickenbacker.
Oh, the Rickenbacker made you a signature model?
They didn't make a lot of them.
The 4002? Is it like a 4002?
It's the 4030 JFK.
4030.
Fuck that shit. I need to get one of those, man.
It's awesome. It is awesome, but it's like
Did they wire it the same straight to the fucking pickup?
No, they did. It's like a 4002 pickups. Most of it is dead stock stuff because how it happened was they invited me to the factory, so I was just walking around and they had a caged room just full of parts of things that hadn't been made. Like they had boxes of the. Have you ever seen the Lemmy bass that they did and how it's all like that scroll engraving?
Yeah,
They had boxes of those horns just sitting there, like that they did all the engraving but didn't make them because that's the design of those things, right? Like the neck and the body is the one piece, and then they glue the horns on, like the sides onto it, and then finish it from there. And so I see there's all this old 4002 parts in this back room, and I'm like, what's the deal with these? Oh, they've been there since the 70s. Like, could we use those? So there's all this 4002 bird's eye maple sides just in boxes. I'm like, how about that? Can I use that?
How about that? Yeah.
I'm like, do you
Old
think
wood.
you could make? And then their guy was like, well, you could make it 24 frets because the neck is the exact same. The fingerboard's the exact same length as the Dan Armstrong neck. The only difference is you just got to move the bridge up, right? And so then they tried it. The guy experimented with it, and he was like, it works. They got it to, it's pretty fun to play. I like it more than the 4001 that I had, but I'm so spoiled by the Dan Armstrong at this point in my life, man. Like I'm so accustomed to that thing, having clearance all the way up to the 24th fret on both sides of the neck.
Yeah.
Like I could play the 24th fret with my thumb, like it's just, I get you once I got accustomed to that, I started writing everything like with the whole neck. I was screwed. Like I can't play anything else.
So how did you get back to the Dan Armstrong after you went back? You were on the Rickenbacker. Now you wired it that way. You fucking loved it, and you got rid of Dan Armstrong, and then you went back. Where was that? Did that happen?
So when we started writing the second record, we just we didn't really have much of a plan, but we thought, well, we'll rent a garage down an alley in Toronto. I can't remember where exactly it was, but we just rented some garage and brought the gear in there and said, let's just play like we used to play. And I thought, I didn't want that Dan Armstrong 10 years ago. Maybe if I get another one, I'll like it. Which is when I got one from Chicago Music Exchange, and that's number one. And so number one came from Chicago Music Exchange with a Kent Armstrong humbucker in it that like he had made for it. Habit forming. That was it. And so I started writing with it, and I didn't like how it sounded at first, and then I figured out that if I put an EQ pedal before the amp and just drop the gain by 10 dB, then it sounded perfect.
Oh, it had too much output. So
way too much. Yeah, it was like it's just basically capping out, like self-compressing before it would get to the amp. Like a lot of people would say, "Oh, those basses, they don't actually sound very good." So I agree, but it's because they're too hot. And so I just cleaned it up, corrective EQ, like everything negative, just get rid of the things I didn't like.
That's so important. You know what? That whole thing about volume. I actually made a signature pedal with Morley called the Volume Commander, which is exactly based on that. It's two channels of just volume. And what I did is I actually made sure that the volume knobs in this pedal, one of them was a 500K, one of them was a 250K.
Huh.
And people didn't quite understand what the fuck was going on, but the way it changes the brightness and it changes the whole thing. So you're able to turn one or the other on and off, or you're able to turn them both on at the same fucking time and adjust the volume. So when you put it after the bass or before your pedals, or after your pedals going into the amp, like you say, the amazing thing that you can do is, like you said, controlling those dynamics about how the bass reacts or your pedals. You can take a full-blown fucking fuzz-ass sound, totally clean it up with just a foot switch. Because,
Well-
like I said, the volume knob on guitar players are infamous for using the volume knobs. Bass
Yeah.
players not so much, right?
Yeah.
But when you get that volume knob magic on the bass, especially with the kind of grind you're doing, holy fuck! Tell him, Jeff.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, I hate bending over to play with my pedals on the stage. I feel I'm always worried that I'm going to go down on one knee and then I'm just going to go to get up, and suddenly that's when I'm going to become an old man. You know what I mean? All right, so I got to like grab something to get up.
Yeah.
God. And the knees start to, you feel them. You feel the knees do things, right?
Yeah.
I hate doing that. So the volume knob on my bass, I want it to clean up, but I don't want to lose too much. I don't mind losing some bottom, but I don't want to lose it all. I really don't want to lose top if I'm coming back, like pulling it back. Well, it's
You
just like
put a treble bleed on there, right? Do you have a treble
Yeah.
bleed onto your? Yeah, me too. I put treble bleed.
I just think about like the original mixing desks. EQ is labeled correction,
Yeah.
right? Like that was what you're trying to do. And by pulling things out, reducing things brings the other things up perceptibly, right? Like there's only so much space in everybody's ear, and certainly in the amp to react to things. Only so much headroom. Do I want, like my one of my tricks is I've always had, like, for the last, I don't know, almost 20 years, I've had an EQ as one of the first things that my bass goes through, and I have a high pass filter. I don't want any signal below 40 hertz. All that's doing is eating up headroom. My speakers can't reproduce it. At that point, I'm competing with the sub out of the kick drum in the PA. I would rather not ask the speakers to reproduce sub and all the definition.
Man.
Another thing that maybe is of interest, like one of my dad's best friends was Pete Trainer, so we grew up with Pete Trainer. I have Trainer prototypes in the basement and stuff, and he was always really interested in gain staging, and like I would ask him for advice about things, and it was always about like how you approach things, how you hit the next stage of things, and headroom and whatever else. That's a big part of the sound. I remember asking him like, "Hey, does my amp head have to, like, does the impedance of the amp have to match the impedance of the cab?" And then he gives me an hour-long answer, which I can't fully remember, but the gist of it was, you could try. He's like, just try everything. Like maybe you'll like the sound of the head about to blow up, right? Because it's getting too hot. Maybe that will sound cooler. Maybe you will like it sounding more starved. Like you play with that balance, like have fun with that. So
you've heard that story where some people have said, "Oh yeah, just before the tubes are about to fucking blow, that window right there, that's when the amp sounds the fucking best, right?" At that fucking point. And I
chasing
think,
the amp dragon.
Yeah. Like Randy Bachman, right? Like with that whole O sound that he got. I had read somewhere, like, the Herzog guy, right? Herzog was his tech. And I think in the old days, they used to take like heads that actually had power and they plug it right into his fucking amp, right? And to use it as a kind of a super booster, and he kept blowing up his fucking heads because it was a load going into a load.
Yeah.
And then they winded up building the Herzog, which is a head that so they had an output for the amp, but they also had an output that was just from the preamp that would go in. I don't know if you've ever seen. I've had like 3 of those things. It's called the Herzog. Just fucking amazing, and it looks like an old school head. And you plug this into the front of your amp. It's got tubes, and you get that kind of overdrive, that tube overdrive that's happening thing. It's quite an amazing story, like you said, about controlling the impedance on the input.
Gain staging matters in recording just as much as it matters, I think, to some extent, maybe more for us playing bass, because the low end is like the simplest waveform.
Yep.
And so it's the first to get messed up. Like we're asking the most of the speakers when, hey, can you reproduce this? While also this, can you do that? You know what I mean?
While doing this too.
Yeah, can you do all those things at once? Like the guitar, okay, you can just rule between like 250 and 10K. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, the speaker doesn't have to do all that other work. We ask a lot of it. And I think just deciding where things are going to be pushed, where things are going to be starved, where like that, the more, a long time ago, we were playing a festival in Norway with Sonic Youth, and we were backstages were across from each other, and I got to talk to Thurston Moore, and I just said the one thing I always wanted to say to him. I said, hey, you know, I bought all the same gear as you had when I was a kid, and I tried to sound like you, and it didn't fucking work. So I just wanted to say, I know firsthand that it's you. Like it's you, it's not the stuff. Like if I got all the stuff. It didn't work. It's like it was
Right now, like
for sure,
vintage guitar shops are like, "Shut up, Jesse! Shut up! Shut up!"
Well, what was his answer to that?
He just smiled and said thank you. And then Lee Ronaldo and I went and got free jeans.
Oh, come on, man.
Nice.
From Lee Jeans. It was a festival in Norway. Lee Jeans was giving away jeans, and their representative comes in that area of the backstage. Is like, do you guys want jeans? And he's like, Lee, I guess I should. And then we go.
Oh my God! You remember those when you were a kid, Mark? Like everybody was wearing Lees and Wranglers.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Wranglers.
best pair of jeans I have are a pair of Wrangler Comfort Flex because I got a bit of a shelf. But I put them on. They were tapered perfectly. They're like flexible and shit. They last forever. I bought like 10 pair immediately. I was like, they're not going to make these forever, and like they're discontinued, but fucking amazing.
Do you remember they used to make these Wrangler Stars? There were these fucking pants that were this fucking wide, right? And they cover your platform shoe, right? And I used to go, look, it totally goes around my shoe. You can't see it anymore. And that was like the coolest thing, right? And that doesn't age well, some of those things.
Sure, that was cool.
Your blue low top docks were fully hidden by your giant stovepipe jeans. Yeah.
There was a shoe shop out here in Montreal called Master John's, okay, and he was a guy that made like fancy platform shoes. Like he made some for kids too. And I had a pair of like fucking 3-inch platforms with the big ass thing with a fucking silver star, like right in the fucking toe, right? And it was like, yeah, man, my Howick just totally cover the whole shoe. You can't see it. And if I pull it out, there's the star coming out of the fucking front of the fucking jean, and it's like, yeah, man. You know what I mean?
Well, I could sit here all night and roast Momo's fashion over the years, but I can hear my kids are they're getting ready to kill each other, so I'm gonna go intercept them. All right, peace,
Mark,
dudes.
God bless you, brother. You're fucking fantastic, my friend.
Many blessings.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Mark.
Jesse, man. Again, I have to tell you, thank you for like being alive, for doing what you do. And I'm saying this in the most honest, non-fanboy kind of fucking way, right? Like some people contribute in a way more than just, shall I say, just being a musician, or just because like you were born or gifted that way, or like whatever you want to call it, right? I can truly feel by listening to you play and everything you've done, and also Mark telling me that you're into farming and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. There were cows behind me earlier, but I didn't.
You got fucking cow. You got a motherfucking farm with like cows
Yeah,
and
no,
horses and chickens and shit.
I farm no horses. They're too delicate.
Okay.
And anyone who has horses knows, just nodded with me. They're like, oh yeah, they're so delicate. Cows can eat anything. Horses be like, oh, I got a tummy ache, and then they die. Like they literally, horses die. They die from a tummy ache, but all the time. But no, I just like being challenged. I like learning new things. I know, I'm still very flattered by what you said initially. Like I never question whether or not I should be doing all of this. Like I've gone with it. Things start going okay. I will follow this and see. I never imagined that uh it would become my life's work. Because
Jeff,
at some point it's like this is my life's work. I'm a bass player. It was like the
you're
last
you're
instrument I learned.
you're an
Here I am.
inspiration, Jesse. You really are an inspiration to a lot of us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I for me, and just to kind of shit on all the other instruments, it's like so many bands. Part of the inspiration for me was so many bands are just the guitars and the bass playing in unison.
Yeah.
Like if you're just going to play together, why are you paying that guy? Like just do it by yourself. You can make it sound awesome. If you think I'm lying, like look, I have a farm. Like you can do it. You can make new things. And like somebody, I can't remember who said it, but somebody pointed out that like nobody knew they wanted Jimi Hendrix sound until I heard Jimi Hendrix, and then suddenly it's like, oh, now I want that. Now
Exactly.
everyone wants that, and so like those are always been my goals. I want to surprise myself. I want to be challenged, and I won't be engaged like I'm not interested in being. I'm never interested in being famous. It's like I feel like that's like a unfortunate side effect of doing something that people like. I would prefer I just like doing the thing. I like, being challenged. And if I'm not challenged by it, I will, set things on fire to try to keep going in this. I want to keep being challenged in some way. For me these days now, maybe this will sound old, but I'm just like, I'm trying to write better songs. Like I'm trying to make the songs as good as they can be, trying to think about the song, not just myself so much, but thinking about, hanging back at times and then coming forward and trying to be, I guess I'm still trying to be the whole rest of the band apart from drums.
But I mean, it's got to be pretty cool that, moving forward from, the beginning, the pressures, figuring out who you are, and then winding up like having a farm and thinking like what you just said right now. So, like, you're in touch with nature, you've got your kids, you've got your wife, you've got your life, and this is and you're stable thinking. Uh, this must really actually help you in that thought of wanting to write better music and having the kind of clearer space and a different kind of pressure, shall I say, or no pressure, in order to just say, I'm going to just write better shit because my brain is open enough to be able to think like that with a different kind of, not that same kind of, say, record company pressure or the radio pressure or all that other shit that normally happens to somebody who's climbing the ladder, right?
That shit's hard too. Like there was a brief period in, like, I guess it was around 2009 or so, where I ended up getting picked to try like produce pop and R&B music in Los Angeles. And I went in there and I tried. I'd be in the room with some of those pop people. Man, I'm like, I can't do this. Like I would
they wanted
like
you to put, they probably want, because you got a kind of a dance kind of mood happening, they probably wanted you to put the edge into the R&B, so it sounds like some fucking R&B with a bit of a fucking edge twist. Is that what they did to you?
I would try, but at the same time I'm just like, I wish there was definitely moments where I was wishing I could like turn off my teenage brain. Like, no, it doesn't have to be cool. You can just go along with this. Like there's all kinds of people making lots of money doing really shitty music. You can be one of them. It's easy for you. It's easy. Shut up. Get rid of all this. I couldn't do it. I had a bunch of offers that I was just like, I know I'm not gonna. Yeah, I know that, like, if I wanted to, if I wanted to do a job that I was going to be unfulfilled by, I could have just kept doing demolition, which I used to do at one point. Like I could have just kept doing that. It's reliable, you know, break shit for half a day and then sleep. Like, yeah, I don't know. I
Stay
So
just,
true to yourself,
that's
right?
why you play that way.
yeah, you got to, and I've been very blessed. I think also, I think that the timing of the band starting was right before the internet really became
Yeah.
like the thing. You know, like my one daughter, my oldest daughter, makes music. She's super talented. It's amazing watching her. She actually moved to Montreal recently because Toronto's too fucking expensive.
Oh, she lives here.
Oh yeah, she loves it too. She's so happy. um but you know, like I don't have any I don't have much helpful advice for her to like how do you break through. I'm like, I had to compete with nothing in comparison to everyone now. You
Right.
know, like every kid now that it comes up with some new idea, they're fighting for a little ear space with like literally the sum total catalog of everything that's ever been made
Yeah.
and is actively being made, and shit that computers making, right? Like you're competing
Oh,
for this like finite space in the listener's head with everything. And that's hard. I mean, like at the time, you know, like back in the day, how did you even hear music? There was so, you had to seek it out, you
Yep.
know, like so many bands, the first time you hear them is when you saw them play, right? Like you had to go to it.
Yep.
And now it's just to try to get a foothold in this world. I don't, would we be able to do it now? I don't know. I don't.
strangely enough, I think today, with all the modern kind of psychotic fucking approaches and everything have been done, we'd have to go back to the exact way that you did things in the beginning today in order for you to actually stand out and get a fucking piece of the action. It's the only way to be original is to say, fuck it. I'm going to play. I'm going to be myself. I'm not
Exactly.
going to, because it's, you know, I remember like working with companies and shit. And there was a point, right, where they say, hey, come, we're going to go shopping for records. And then they'd buy all these fucking records. They'd make you listen to this shit. And they'd say, look, these are the hits. Why don't we do fucking shit that sounds exactly like this? You got to change a couple of notes and we got a fucking hit. They fucking did that all the motherfucking time, especially here in Montreal and that whole dance circuit and shit. Like I was into that stuff. It was like, oh fuck, man, I'm gonna kill myself. You know what I mean? You can't. What do you mean copy someone's shit and just change a couple of notes? The amount of people, and when that happens, all of a sudden you lose who you are. It's like if you play, oh, I want to play music, and you go make a fucking wedding band, right? And you think
Yeah.
because you're playing, if you play too many weddings, forget it. You're fucked. You'll never play
No
an
one,
original project again. It's not going to happen.
no one pictures themselves doing that, right? Like when you're imagining yourself playing, no one's like picturing themselves playing the being the wedding band. You know, like
Yeah.
that's not the dream. And I think you feel it. It's you feel it. It's in the Blues Brothers, Merv and the Magic Tones when they're
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
at the quando, like that's, you know, hey, do you want to go play with the ex-convict and maybe we'll go to jail again? Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Rip the fur off the roads and get out of here. Like, yeah, that no one wants to do that. But I think the key is to every time I say stuff like this, I feel like it sounds so cliche or whatever, but it's like this is an art form.
Yeah.
It's an art form, and maybe more of an art form than a lot of the others, because we this is a concept that my wife and I have been talking about a lot because she makes music too. Like all frequency has always existed. It's all there. It's all there all the time. It's the colors. It's all through the universe, everywhere. And that's all we're doing. There's X amount of notes, and all we're doing is finding these things that we're all the way of putting together these things are already there. So there's like a discovery aspect to it. And if you feel like you're chipping away you're a sculptor chipping away at a stone, and then you find, oh wow, that piece broke off, and now that leads me to think it's going to be what, you know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
following that exploration. if you're doing that and like the goal is just to see what happens, like my concept was essentially like how little, what is the minimum amount of stuff needed to for it to feel the way I'm feeling it in my head.
Right.
And if that means a lot of amps and being very loud, but one thing at a time, hey, I want to play this chord. The chord sounds like shit. All right, well then I guess the riff is an arpeggio through the notes of the chord. That's like a lot of what all my early stuff was like, I want to play this chord, but I'm like, I'm just cycling through the chord.
Yeah.
Because how do I get this across? I'll figure it out. It's fun.
Well, thank God
Discovery.
for that, man. I got to tell you, because it's got to be so fucking cool to play. Like, I love the fact that you're a two-piece band and you make so much fucking noise. And that, when you think about, like, when you have, part of a 5-piece band or a 6-piece band, it's just a whole different kind of a communication.
But I'm jealous of those guys though, because you can flub a note and it's not just fall out in the open. Like, oh, did you break a string? But the band kept going. Well, cool. If I break a string, we gotta stop. Like, all right, we're gonna start this song again in just a moment. As soon as I can get that other bass over here. But like, it's very naked. I haven't felt nervous for a long time, but I always feel nervous beforehand, not about being in front of people, but just that like that I hope my body does what I want it to.
I
Because
think that you're going to go for a long time, man. Because you look, I mean, I've watched you go through your whole thing. You look fucking fantastic. You like really.
It's true, man.
You do, man. You're not aging. You're. You know what I mean? It's got to be the farm life mixed with just you working with Sebastian over there and doing shit. You really fucking look good. You sound good. It's fucking unfucking believable, dude.
I saw an Ice-T interview recently where someone was like because he's over 50, he's like 60, but he had his first kid after 50, and he was like, they're like, how you still, you seem younger than you are, and he's like, I think my maybe life got like the clock got reset,
restart
by when he had his kid, and I think I've had 4, and I feel like I still get to watch cartoons. You know what I mean? Like I still get to listen to Raffi and really enjoy it. I get to do all that stuff. I get to, I just put a new tire on my BMX bike that has been sitting in the barn for a decade because one of my kids has got a bike, and so I don't want to have to actually physically run behind her. So now my old Mongoose BMX bike is working again in front of the house. I got on it. My wife was laughing at me so hard because my knees are like way up.
Wow. Tell me something like Mark Najjar, was telling me about your water fasting thing. Is this possibly why you fucking look so fucking hot, or like what's going on here?
Well, I hope Mark doesn't mind me talking about it, but yeah, like fasting is the best thing for you. It fixes everything, and it's also it's a mental thing more than anything. Like you tell someone, hey, basically I saw Mark was he wanted to slim down. He was trying to, get himself in better shape. And I was just watching, we've known each other for a long time now. I was watching it play out on Instagram. And at some point I just messaged him like, hey, when you hit a wall and you want to go all the way, you let me know. I'll be right here. It's not going to cost you anything, but it's not going to be easy. And then it was like a month later, he hit me up. He's like, I hit a wall. What do I do? I said, all right, this is what you got to do. And, the longest I've ever done was 15 days. And I think it was the best I've ever felt in my life.
Wow.
Like, only water.
The key is you have to have 3 different types of salt in the water. One of the salts is called no salt in Canada. I think it's basically for a salt that's for people who can't have sodium, which is the potassium. And so it's just baking soda, normal salt, and this potassium salt mixed with water. You just drink that, and most of the time, if like when you don't eat for long enough, you'll start to get headaches or whatever. That's actually it's the electrolytes that have left your body.
Right.
So that by having those things in the water, you never hit that. I'm not saying that it doesn't still, like, you find out that you are actually an addict to just snacking and eating all the time. Well, it's 11, so I gotta eat, or like whatever the thing is, like the trigger. It's the same. Like I mean, I started smoking when I was fucking 12 years old, and I've been on this thing for a decade
Yeah.
because but the food addiction is crazier, right? And then when you find out that, like, oh, actually I'm all right.
Can you
Like,
drink as much water as you want when you're hungry, like when you're on one of these things?
yeah, but the key is that you gotta, I could send you the mix, like what the ratio is, but you drink it and it's like you're full of that. And it's just incredible. Like, I had I had fucked up my hip and my shoulder decades ago, and then when I probably like 14 days into that fast, suddenly those injuries hurt like brand new. I was like, what the hell's going on? Oh, my body never finished fixing them, but now it's in such a repair time. Now I can go address those things.
Oh fuck, we need to fucking do that.
It's
Oh,
crazy. And like, I lost 2 pounds a day, which
wow.
sounds nuts. Like, it's crazy, but it's so good for you. Like, all the the fat that's around your organs, which is called brown fat. That's the stuff that'll kill you. It's not the stuff that you see on the outside. It's that deep stuff. That's the stuff your body turns into energy with the least effort. So it goes away, and you
Wow.
feel it. Like, you really feel it. And it's funny when you start to eat again, because you're like, wow, the avocados are sweet. I never noticed that before. Holy shit, these mixed nuts are so fucking salty. I can barely get them in my mouth. Like,
Wow.
your desires change. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I know I had explained it all to Mark, and I tried to give him as much of a warning about the things that were going to happen on the way, just so that it didn't seem surprising. Like, basically it takes like 3 or 4 days for your body to run out of your food storage, and then it switches over to eating you.
Oh,
And but as soon as it does that, it's like you don't need to sleep anymore, because your body's never died. You're never digesting, but the energy is like constant. So I would go to sleep, like wake up fully rested, look at my watch, I'm like, it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
No.
Like, I feel like I slept for 9 hours, and I slept for 2-3 hours. Like, what? Okay, I gotta figure out what to do with my time, because I don't have to make food or cook or anything. I've just got you know um but it's fascinating thing. And it just cleans you out. And I learned sort of after the fact that supposedly, when you do that, your body wipes out all the cells that could eventually become cancerous.
Wow.
Your body just, those are the first ones. Your body's like, hey, that's garbage, I can eat that. Oh, that old head injury, brain injury you had from getting hit in the head when you were a kid, you don't remember? We don't need that protein, let's just eat that. Like, it pulls all that old junk out of you, breaks it apart, and eats it.
So how often would you do this, Jesse?
You could do it. I mean, even if you did it once a year. Yeah, honestly, I've read I've read and seen doctors say that you do it once in your life, and it will actually reset a clock.
Is that
But I
right?
mean,
Wow.
you just do it every once in a while. It's kind of fun. Honestly, like, it's an interesting challenge, right? Because it's the reverse of everything else that we challenge ourselves with. Like, hey, how about you do way less? all you gotta do is mix up salt water and drink it, and then just hang out.
Wow.
Like, take it easy. Don't try to ask too much of yourself. And then you find out how you're actually an addict, and how much of your eating wasn't really because you're hungry, just because it's like the time to eat. Like, how many cigarettes did I have because I just started the car and put it in first? I just got in first gear, and now the cigarette's already in my hand. And then by the time I've shifted to second, the lighter's in my left hand.
You got it
I,
down pat, man.
I get the third and the windows down, and then you know what I'm saying. Like, did I need the cigarette, or was it because of what I was doing? And I found the relationship with food was very similar.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you can drink black coffee because it won't knock you out of it, right?
Oh.
Because there's no calories in black coffee. That's basically, you just don't want your body to start going back into digesting mode. You want it to just be in running on all this stored energy that you've been holding on to forever.
I
So what
really,
are
you know what,
the-
my wife needs to do. Like my wife, all of a sudden, she started out of nowhere, started getting a problem with her eye. What do you call those, Mark?
Yeah, it's I don't
Uh,
know. They call them floaters sometimes.
Oh,
Bloaters and
yeah.
shit that started popping up and got a bit pre-diabetic and whatnot. And she's really into this whole concept of saying, she's been saying like we should start to fast and do
If you
that
can do
because
it together, it's way easier. My wife, she says she wants to do it, and I'm like, all right, I'm always down. Like I will always,
I'll do
if
it.
she says she wants to fast, I'll do it anytime. We'll start tomorrow. But she's like, but I still want to eat breakfast. I'm like, it's not how it
I'll
works.
do it. I'm fucking doing this.
You know,
You only
you
live
just try,
once.
go for you. If you do 3 days and then eat, you'll be interested. If you can go for 3 days and then eat, try to go for another 48 hours afterwards and then eat. Just see. And it's so interesting because it doesn't take very long for you to, like, when you do eat, if you're only eating like every couple of days, that meal cannot be a bag of chips, right? Like that has to be some real shit. Like your food desires will be completely like the most healthy thing and no one has to tell you. You're just like, I want this stuff that's actually gonna get me through the next 48 hours.
Now we
Which-
already eat really good, and she brought on this new thing where the second we finish eating, we go walking for power walking for 20 minutes right
That's
after.
so good for you.
Yeah, like
That's so
and the
good.
difference that it makes, like energetically, I lost like fucking in the last month like 11 fucking pounds. Like it's fucking crazy just from doing that, doing
Yeah.
nothing else.
Well,
You know,
even just actually drinking enough water. I looked up, I'm like, how much water am I supposed to drink? 49 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds. How much am I supposed to drink? Almost 4 liters a day. I'm like, fuck, that's a job. That's so much water. I gotta be
That's a lot of
drinking.
water, yeah.
I gotta be drinking all the time. Like I live in the woods. I have to the closest store is a 15-minute drive away. I'm gonna piss my pants. Like if I gotta drink water constantly. It's easier on tour because I'm just like sitting around all the time waiting to work.
no, you're right. You're right. I drink like 4 bottles of water just in my bath before I go to sleep. By the time I get out of my bath, I'm drinking 4 bottles of water.
Wow, man.
Right fucking there. Like and it makes a difference because you know when you stop drinking water for some reason, and you're like, I like coffee too. I'll have about two maximum 3 coffees a day. At one point, it was 5 or 6, right? But you know, and I'm on the avocado mode. I never start my day without avocados, blueberries, and only certain things, right? And so
Yeah.
all the junk, I don't eat the chips, the cookies, all that shit. That's
Yeah,
all
if you
gone.
stay out of the middle of the grocery store, because
Pretty
that's where all the boxes are, right? It's like the exterior of the grocery store is where all the food is, and the middle is where all the products are. You know what I mean? Like if you just walk around the outside and your cart's full before you get to the middle, then you've probably chosen pretty good. And also, like I read, what was that guy Michael Pollan said, if your grandmother wouldn't recognize one of those ingredients, you probably shouldn't eat it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's fun. I like looking at the back of something, and be like, no way, I'm not eating that shit. No, nope.
There you go. You got
Yeah.
Creela, my wife. She's actually listening there. She goes, boy, musician, beauty routines.
There you go.
Hey, because it's not everybody that's into that shit, right? Like that
Well,
whole.
we've had time. Like the one thing, one thing I'm probably the most grateful for, because I never expected my life to be a job making music. Like it's beyond a dream. It's like something you wouldn't allow yourself to dream because it's too ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's billions of people, and you get to be one of these few that do this. It has afforded me so much time to read and to learn about stuff. You know, like my library of books that I have finished. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, the hell? What? Oh yeah, that's right. I've had all this time because the job has afforded me time. Like I spent a decade just studying economics in my spare time because I wanted to.
Wow.
Like I would just find book reading lists from universities and just read the books. I'm like, I just want to, I can just do this. I have the time to do it. It's yeah, it's that kind of thing is fun.
That's
You know?
amazing. Okay, so in closing, tell me what's going on with Death from Above when it comes to the new record you're working on. What can we be expecting, and when can we be expecting this fucking amazing shit?
Recorded it in Montreal.
Oh, come on! Where did you
killing
record it in my
killing us, Pauls.
in NDG, buddy.
oh my god, my old
NDG.
stomping town.
NDG the whole time.
Come on!
With and it's produced by one of the guitar players from Tricky Woo,
Okay.
Adrian Popovich. I mean, he's a friend and a genius and super helpful. Yeah, it's like I always think every record is the last one. I mean, I've thought that since I was a teenager. Like,
Yeah.
I just think, am I going to get to do this again? So, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool record. It's tough when you've got such a catalog of things, and that when the band exists, sort of like separate from you. You know what I mean? Like, I made this thing, and now my bass sound is older than my kids. Like, it's been happening for quite a while. Like, more people have known it longer than I've known my children, which is wild. But yeah, I don't know. It's very much us, and there's songs on the record that I think are the best we've ever made. And there's other things we're trying. It's all cool, and yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what people will think. I've played around more with my bass tone than I have in the past, but it's partially because I feel like I. Do you want to hear my bass? There's a lot of stuff you can listen to. You know, which of the four and a half albums would you like to go through? Like, or the all the live instances of recording? Like, it's yeah. I don't know.
There's no
You'll have
way
to
we
see.
can't hear your bass
Yeah, come
on
on,
any
yeah.
record. That's what I fucking love about it. It's not like you're gonna get lost in the fucking mix, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's such a challenge for me. Like, we've been playing some of the songs live without any fanfare. We just mix them into the shows, just like
Wow.
just see what happens. And those moments have been the most satisfying for me.
Wow. When is it
As of
coming out?
late. I don't know. That part of it is outside of my jurisdiction.
It's not. Is it mixed? Is it mixed yet?
Kinda.
Yeah,
Kinda.
because it probably sounds fucking killer just when you bring the faders all up to fucking zero.
It's tough. Well, I mean, that's the difficulty of having a very simple palette of sounds is that everything ends up being loud, but getting the things to fit together, even though it's simple, is maybe harder. Like, if you were a band with two guitars, like, does that guitar sound awesome? All right, we pull this one. This guitar sounds awesome. All right, that's kind of where it can be. Like, that could be it. We might have just got the guitar mix. I can hear them both, and they both sound cool. Where does the bass go? Oh, we stick it up the middle. How do the drums sound? Well, we want the drums up. You know what I mean? Like, so many of those things kind of mix themselves with us. It's like, okay, is this moment me playing bass, or am I the front thing right now?
Yeah.
Right? Because I got to leave space. He's got to sing. There's people like words.
So when you record your bass, right? Are you recording on 2 tracks at once, 3 tracks at once with a clean, like a kind of a clean signal? 3. I do it. Yeah, 3.
I
so
do
one
3.
clean.
But the clean is what I use for the sub, right? Because I get that clean DI before that EQ with the high pass and the gain reduction. Like, get that beforehand so that then I can make a consistent sub out of that, and not try to get the sub through the amp as well.
Yeah.
It works, and that it's exactly how we do it live. But
With 3
live,
channels.
Yeah, it works great. Um, it's so cool using like the amp thing that I made now is like kind of my creation. I got these orange guitar preamp pedals, and then had a tech friend remove the power section from them, and then so we could increase the headroom to plus or minus 30 volts.
The
So
Butlers?
like no, they're it was called the Bax Bang Guitar,
Oh,
orange Bax Bang
Okay.
Guitar, which
Yeah.
they discontinued. Um they're still available. Like you can, if somebody wants one, you can find them online. I've had to find one online in a panic on the road.
Uh,
But they were like they had like that power pump circuit, so it's 9 volts going in, and it takes it up to 24, and
on the
then
inside.
it's
right.
like a triplet
But
or a quadruple.
but like the key with my original old amps, like that PV head that I have, mine for whatever reason the preamp runs at 36 volts. So that's how
Wow.
I could be so fucking distorted without feeding back unless I wanted to, because I still had headroom.
Yeah.
Right? Like 36-volt preamp is
Wow.
so trying to get to that, I had the power section on these orange pedals removed and replaced it with like a technical, like science power supply, and just dialed it up. And at 30 plus or minus 30, we're like, if you take it further, I don't want to melt these things and I need them for the road. So 30 is good. And that they have like they have a speaker simulator, but it's not like a digital thing. It's just filters.
Yeah.
So I send those to front of house through two Neve preamps that I have.
Nice.
Send those to front of house, that mixed with the DI signal, and then I have the normal output from those preamps go to a 3,000 watt PV power amp, which then drives my cabs.
Ah,
So I can have my cab volume be independent of the volume I'm sending to front of house. And between those two things, I'm kind of like using the PA as cabinets at that point.
man.
And then also my own cabinets for
It's
me.
your monitor. So your own cabinets are really your personal monitor and vibration devices, as opposed to
I'm playing off of them. Like I need to feel the other thing, this is a Pete Trainer thing. I was like, why do I like these solid state amps so much? He just said right away, he's like, because they're faster.
Yeah.
He's like, because the attack is instant.
That's true.
And you're trying to play quick, and you're trying to get this. You need more definition because you're trying to be guitar and bass at the same time. So the solid state is giving you that immediacy. And so like that's awesome. But I also I need to feel it in my body. Like I've tried to play quieter. I'm like, can I do it? I'm like, I can, but it kind of sucks. Like I want to feel I'd like it to feel good. And I'm playing off of that feeling, like when I decide I sometimes I think maybe Seb was like, why is he doing all these like pick harmonics? Like it's 1986, but I'm so into I like I'm just gonna make this note scream this time, and I want to really
are you
feel
pointing
I
your
want to
cabinets right at fucking Seb's head and fucking blowing his head off, or what's happening
I
there?
originally I would have one straight ahead and one towards him, because we didn't have in-ear monitors. We didn't have barely had monitors, and so I'd be like, here's how you can hear me, and I'm just gonna kind of set up in between. And we've always just played facing each other,
Yeah.
essentially, because when he turns to sing, now he's looking at the crowd. Right? Like
Yeah.
because if he's playing drums this way and the mic's here, the audience is out that way. It's always worked, but nowadays I've made a little like I have my little world with my cabs. And I really want we started using in-ears years ago, and that was actually super helpful, because then I could actually hear everything I was doing. There was the first time I used them, we were on tour somewhere in Europe, and I was like, after the show, I'm like, wow, I can actually hear my playing. I can hear every nuance, because I'm getting the same, the same definition that the house is getting through those Neve pre's and whatever else. I'm like, I can hear everything. Awesome. And I think it made me play better, and probably further critical, because then I could hear my mistakes more. I didn't really hit that. If you ever see me playing and you see me shake my head or just bite my lip or something, it's because I screwed up, and I know that I did. There was just like something where I went to hit it, and it like my biggest pet peeve is when I go to hit something and it's like a big slide up, and I'm not all the way on it by the time I hit that note. So it's like that. So the initial hit is like, like then
Oh
I'm just
my
thinking
God.
about, I'm like, and I'll be playing, and what I'm thinking about is there another instance of this coming up so I can get it right and feel better about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Can
fucking hilarious.
do I get a do-over in this song? Do I have to wait till tomorrow?
Mark and
Like,
I always talk about the magic about what we call unforgiving in like amps, for instance, or unforgiving instruments, right? Like,
Yeah.
and we love those because, like you say, you get to really hear and feel yourself. And if you're gonna suck, then your suck is
Yeah.
going to really be highlighted. Here's how fucking bad you sound. We want to make sure everybody knows you suck, and you suck real good. So I think that can work real good because it's fast, right? I believe in thinking bar to bar. If you suck in bar one, you better fix it by bar two. That's not very far. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And thinking at that kind of speed with the speed of a transistor amp, like you say, and an unforgiving monitoring situation,
Oh
I
yeah.
think is just fucking brilliant for becoming a better player, you know?
It's fun. It's fun. Like I really think staying challenged is the key to staying engaged. Like because it's I like it's enjoyable to think back like, oh, are we going to play this song? Well, the first time we played it, I would be dreading it because I'm like, man, I hope I can do it tonight. And then nowadays it's like, yeah, I'm stoked that I can play this. Let's play it faster. Can we
Let's play
how,
it faster. Yeah.
let's see if we can see if I can push him to play it a little bit faster this time, because it's just like that's fun.
Does that work? Does he set the tempo, or do you just decide I'm gonna fucking start pushing him so the fucking thing accelerates, or what are we dealing with there?
We used to be real bad with that, but we have a click in our ears.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
That is more helpful sonically than it is rhythmically.
For
Because
the whole
sometimes
songs, all the songs, you got to fucking click for the tempo.
Sebastian has his like drum pad setup thing. So it started off with just him. He wanted it just as a beat to help him, because we would go back and listen to previous shows and we're like, holy shit, we were playing like 40 BPM faster. And it's like any old video you see of like James Brown playing, like, oh my God, like that is so fast.
Yeah.
And like, and the worst is we were opening for the Foo Fighters. We had like 45-minute set. We were done in like 25 minutes. And we got off. They were stoked. They were like, this is awesome. Their crew is stoked. They're like, we've got an extra 20 minutes for changeover. This is so easy. But afterwards, we're like, man, no, we're not in a basement right now. Like we can, like, we're not. Did anyone hear our songs? We're just flying through this. So it's mostly like a restraining thing, but in these days for me it's like sometimes easier to hear than the drums. Like my hearing is still fine, but it's like it's more just like in the mess of everything, or like crowd sound coming back and everything else, to have that little tick 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 happening. It most of the time I don't even hear it, because we're just playing along, we're playing that speed. But in those moments when I do hear it, or sometimes when I need it, it's probably the thing that I ask the monitor guy for the most.
So, guys, we want to thank you so much for joining us for another episode of 123 Bass Nation. If today's conversation inspired you, do us a favor, share this episode with someone who always wanted to play bass but thinks they've missed their chance. My name is Momo, and I'm with
Mark.
And on behalf everybody here at 123 Bass Nation. Let's keep learning, keep grooving, keep believing in yourself, and we will see you for the next episode. You never know what's going to happen, but you will know. We will let you know, and stay tuned.
Thank you, guys.
You guys.
Over and out.